So you're thinking of moving to Columbia, South Carolina, or any other surrounding areas here in the Midlands, well, you have come to the right place. My name is Chad. This is my channel where we talk about things a little bit different than most out there. I do give some facts, but it's mainly about my life experience here in Columbia, South Carolina, how I can help you move here. I have lived here pretty much my entire life, so I talk about things as far unscripted, down to earth, just like I'm sitting across talking to you. You can see the big Gamecock behind me. I'm right here at Williams-Brice Stadium, and thought no better place to start off in this video. And we will be talking today about Columbia versus Greenville. What exactly is going on? Why is Columbia better than Greenville? Why is Greenville better than Columbia? So we're going to be going over some of these key points and key facts throughout this video, and almost giving them a competitive edge and seeing which one is better. But in the end, it really all comes down to what better suits you. Stick around to the end of this video. A lot of people have also asked me about the market here in Columbia and even in South Carolina in general. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what's going on to this market. Let's go ahead and get right at it. Alright, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about moving to Columbia, South Carolina, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and you can be the first to know about the current market here in Columbia, South Carolina every time I put on a video. Like I said before, my name's Chad, and I get to hear from people just like you every single day, whether it's through Facebook, whether it's through YouTube, whether it's through comments, whether it's through you calling, texting, any of these things. I get to build relationships and I get to learn more about you, and it also allows me to do what I love doing, and that is helping people in real estate. Go ahead and set up a calendar invite. What I love to do more than anything, get on a Zoom call one-on-one with you so I can know a little bit more about you. Now, the reason I'm standing here in front of the State House is because what we're going to be talking about today, obviously Greenville versus Columbia. And you can look straight ahead, and this is Main Street, where we have, you can call it Market on Main, you can call it Soda City, you can call it whatever you would like to call it every Saturday morning, but there's plenty of restaurants down here, etc. No better place to get started and talk about this than right here at the Capitol, because the first three topics we're going to be talking about in Columbia versus Greenville is growth, downtown, and some of the restaurants here in Columbia. You got a statue of George Washington sitting right here at the front, overlooking the State House and everything that they do, this being the capital of South Carolina. First and foremost, downtown. There's more money in downtown Greenville. It's been there a little bit longer. Took a little bit of video footage of Finlay Park, which I talk about a little later on over at the Carolina Stadium too. This is Main Street, which I just showed you, and there's a lot on Main Street, but you have to pay for parking when you're there. They do have a better system now, because not everybody carries quarters on them or even dollar bills, etc., but it's something called Passport, where you can log in. I'm actually parked over here on Sumter Street, and there is no parking in downtown Greenville. Now, the best thing I can take Finlay Park, compare it to, is Falls Park with Reedy River in Greenville, which we'll show in a little bit as well. The difference there is Falls Park is right on Main Street. Greenville is so much more walkable in everything that it does. There are people walking downtown Greenville all the time, whereas over here in Columbia, people don't walk the state grounds, the Capitol grounds here near as much. In downtown Greenville, you can walk Main Street, you can walk into the park, you can walk all the way to the zoo and Cleveland Park over there, you can walk to their amphitheater. All of that is here. Now, we're going to have all that in Finlay Park, but you can't exactly walk it from here on Main Street to there. So Greenville gets a better walkability score. Let's go ahead and talk about restaurants. I love food, but I work out a good bit, I'm training a good bit. I'm consistently cooking all my food and eating it on my own. But I do love a good 5-star restaurant too. But what people really don't realize, a lot of the ones that people base their food on is the Michelin, and they call it a 5-star rating system. So many people get that wrong because there are other things, such as other places, how they rate their foods, how they rate their reviews, and it's a 5-star. Michelin does not have a 5-star rating system. It's only a 3-star rating system. Now, I hate to tell you, but there are no Michelin rated restaurants here in South Carolina. Doesn't mean we don't have a good many great restaurants here. There are some that are right there at it in Charleston, from big. When it comes to restaurants and downtown and stuff, that's gonna have a top in the state when it comes to those type of restaurants. Now, when talking about Greenville, they've got a little recognition there, and then there's Columbia. If you had to take them in order and rate them 1, 2, 3, then it'd be Charleston, Greenville, Columbia. In the restaurant category, Greenville gets the check. There's just no ifs, ands, buts about it. Now, downtown Greenville also gets the check because of the walkability, because of the money that's been there for so long, and some of the companies, even some of the big ones like Michelin, like BMW. It was Greenville was a textile started downtown system. Downtown, it definitely has to go to Greenville when it comes to walkability, restaurants, food, all of that. And talking about the park being right there, the zoo, even though Riverbank Zoo is a better zoo or a bigger zoo, it's Greenville Zoo is a very quaint, very nice, walkable, one of the best smaller walkable zoos in not only South Carolina. Now, the one of the reasons I personally love Columbia so much is location. Columbia is going to get the check, and I'm going to tell you why. Greenville, it's the mountains. You'll see when I go to Table Rock, Oconee, you've got the lakes up, the 3 different lakes up there. But Columbia is in the middle of South Carolina. I can't take a day trip to the beach if I'm in Greenville. Whereas now, if I'm in Columbia, I can go to Myrtle Beach, 2.5 hours away. I know you think, oh, that's a long trip. If you take it early, have a blast, come back. I don't mind traveling. Don't even mind traffic that much, to be perfectly honest. I just took a trip to Myrtle Beach to Pirate Land campsite, right there near Garden City. I did that 2 weeks ago and had a blast. Some friends of mine were camping up there, have the spot for a month. I went up there just for the day. So I can go to the beach if I want. Now, on the rest of this video, when you see me in the other Hawaiian shirt, it means I'm in Greenville. And I wear a orange shirt when I'm at Table Rock, and the part of the video that's coming with Table Rock. You know, I have that the Hawaiian shirt in Greenville. I have this shirt in Columbia, so you know where I'm at when I do it. So I took that trip. I took it, and it was an hour and a half to Greenville. It's also an hour and a half to Charlotte. It was 2 hours to Table Rock State Park. I made a whole day of it, had a blast. Ate at Tupelo Honey in downtown Greenville. When I finished up, I was tired, but I had a blast, and I had even more fun walking through downtown Greenville and through Finlay Park. And I have so much fun making these videos and going these places. But the whole point of that was I can go to the mountains if I want to. I can go to the beach if I want to. And then there's a ton of activities right here in Columbia on the river, on the Saluda River, the Broad River, the Congaree. Location goes to Columbia because it is centrally located for everything. Also in the middle of Augusta, Georgia for the Masters. Hour and a half, 2 hour trip toward Georgia. The only thing Greenville has closer to it is Atlanta. If you go to Atlanta, Savannah, in that area, it's a lot closer trip in what you do. Now the last, but not least, the part I'm going to do here in Columbia right here, I want to talk about growth. Now growth, you need to really get an estimate, you need to look at a 5 to 10 year period. So if we take from 2010 to 2020, during all that time, was about 6% growth. In Greenville, it was about 21% growth. To me, I don't want as many people here with me. That's the traffic, the crowds, the everything else. Don't forget that is the Columbia area. It's not the and the Greenville areas. They're town limits. So that's the growth downtown, and that can be economy. It can be, it's mainly people is what that figure is, but it can be a whole variety of things. For example, Lexington, South Carolina has been one of the fastest growing cities in the entire state of South Carolina from 2010 to 2020. They more than doubled their population just about in that time. And that's one of the suburbs. So when you're comparing Columbia to Greenville, that seems like a huge figure, 6%, 21%. But remember, that's just downtown. It's not talking about the suburbs of Greenville. Anytime you go to a major city, you're talking about the city limits. You're not talking about all the suburbs and everything that it has to offer. Crime, you've got to go into your individual suburbs, talk to the police departments, do your research online, look at all that, and then go and set up a Zoom call with me. I know all these figures. I don't give a lot of facts. I just give more the feel and my experience here in these videos. I can show you the top spots and then go in and also look a little more at my videos. We're gonna be heading up to Greenville soon. Can't wait. Downtown Greenville versus downtown Columbia. This is Finlay Park, and the Reedy River runs right through it. And let me just show you this. Gotta turn around and show you. That is one of the prettiest things I have seen in a long time. That's one of the reasons I'm on the suspension bridge that is part of Finlay Park. You can even go down and you've got people feeding the ducks, wading in the water, all sorts of stuff. This is the whole bridge itself that goes right across Finlay Park. Then you can see on this side, there's trails all through here. The closest thing that we have to this in downtown Columbia is Finlay Park. Now, to give Columbia a little bit of a chance, Finlay Park is being redone right now. I can't wait to see how it is. It does have water running all through it. Really pretty in what you're doing and how you're walking at the same time too. It's just really manicured, really pretty up here. You can get to the park at the zoo. You can get to the amphitheater that they have down here where they have a ton of different events. You can see, let me just show you this. As you look around, you can see all the kids that are out here just playing. You can come just down here. There's so many trails throughout here, playgrounds throughout, people running, even a little bistro you can see right here at the front, all the way to the Falls Upper Amphitheater, Falls Cottage, the Riverwalk, Main Streets straight up top. Then you've got Cleveland Park, that's what it was. Cleveland Park and the zoo, you can access it through here. If you're just walking, riding your bike, whatever it might be, there's a riverboat and the Swamp Rabbit Trail. Yes, it comes right out on Main Street. Main Street here versus Main Street in Columbia. And of course, the Columbia Market on Main Street every Saturday, etc. Parking here in Greenville, even between 10 and 6. It's 2-hour limit, so you've got to keep an eye on your time. But it also, not only is it's free, whereas you've got to pay a meter downtown Columbia. There's plenty of parking garages and things like that. You can see them. Look at them feeding the geese down here. There they are. Whereas you got to pay in downtown Columbia. But there's a lot more features even in downtown, and this is just a little bit, but the beauty and what they've done here and the trail system, the Swamp Rabbit Trail, different things that they have here in Finlay Park. Columbia is trying to catch up. The Bull Street District, like I said, what they do every Saturday morning down on Main Street, it's a lot of vendors. It's coming up and coming very much, but they got a long ways to go to catch downtown's Greenville. The amount of what they have done down here. I'll show you a little more on the next one. Where we're at right now, I want to tell you a little bit. This is Finlay Park. This is Finlay Park, and the reason I want to tell you about this is because it is very similar to Falls Park with the Reedy River, but this is a huge downtown project. You can see the amphitheater over here at Cleveland Park here in Greenville. And one of the reasons I'm over here is I want to tell you a couple things why I'm over here. One, right here at Cleveland Park, it borders the Greenville Zoo. And everybody talks about being downtown, the nationally known Riverbank Zoo in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm actually here in Greenville right now. But the zoo over here, it's closed right now. Just really pretty, and it's really walkable, but it's not even close to the size of it. Now, if you're looking in Cleveland Park, you've got these little stations everywhere. This is a workout station here. You've got volleyball courts over there. There's also tennis courts hitting a lot of this, and you can see there's bikers out here. There's actual runners out here as well. But the difference between the two zoos. Now, Greenville Zoo and Columbia's Riverbank Zoo. Columbia's Riverbank Zoo sits on 170 acres. Has botanical gardens. It has the aquarium where all the penguins are. Has the sea lion exhibit. Has all of that. Greenville Zoo is only 14 acres. So it's very walkable. It's been commented that a lot of people, it's one of the coolest smaller zoos that people have done, and it's very walkable in what it does. When I lived in Easley, we'd come down here all the time. My little Boston Terrier, Roscoe, at the time, he was 6 months when we brought him down here. And it was so cool. It was right after I'd gotten married. We just used to have a blast down here. On another note, I used to take people running through this park all the time when I worked at Jack's One-on-One Personal Trainer, and I was a personal trainer. You can see just how pretty it is running through it. I'm on the crossover over here, and then you're coming over this way. The other thing that I want to actually talk about while I'm here, besides the zoos and the difference in the zoos, is the weather here in Columbia versus Greenville. This has been a huge topic of conversation and one of arguments a lot of times when it comes to Columbia versus Greenville. Greenville, including up around Clemson, Travelers Rest, a lot of the suburbs that are here, Simpsonville, they tend to get a little bit longer winter, a little cooler. But Greenville residents, I have heard it all my life, they call me about Columbia and they're like, it's so much cooler up here in Greenville. And it's just not true during the summer. I ran Table Rock today and was drenched when it was done. The humidity is just as bad, and the average temperatures in Greenville and Columbia, over the summer, Greenville is 1 degree less. Whereas during the winter now, Greenville also is about 6 or 7 degrees less when it comes to the winters. That's the biggest difference in weather, is in the winter, and it's only really 5, 6, 7 degrees, and Columbia is less than 1 inch of snow a year. We hardly ever get snow, but here in the upstate during the winter, they will get snow a lot of times. And I mean, even in the month of January, which is their heaviest snow month, they will get 2.5 inches in January, maybe 1 inch in the other months. But the summers is what's so deceiving. If you go to the National Weather Service and you check the average temperatures for the summer, 1 degree difference for Greenville. If y'all gonna get that excited about 1 degree difference, more power to you. Just as hot up here in Greenville as it is in Columbia. I give everybody with the weather, there's not enough of a difference. It's not Columbia's better, it's not Greenville's better. You have the mountains up here, so you can go higher up in the foothills of South Carolina if you would like to, and it may be a little cooler up there. But Greenville itself is not that much different, and any of the surrounding suburbs are not that much different. So a check for each Columbia and Greenville on weather. It is the same pretty much. It is not that big a difference. So I'm still here in Falls on the Reedy River in Greenville. You can see it's the River Lodge that's right back behind me, and you can see part of the Reedy Falls here behind me. What I want to talk to you about here is cost of living in terms of houses with Columbia versus Greenville. I'm not the type of guy that I'm going to spout off all kinds of statistics. If you're looking for that, I'm going by my own experience and a little bit of the research that I've done. So the difference in the average sale price between Greenville and Columbia is as much as $70,000 and $80,000. That's what you're talking about in the difference in how much a house costs, just on an average, in Greenville versus Columbia. There is more money in Greenville. There are more ways with the economy, from the BMW to the Michelin plants. It got started on textiles and stuff as well. A lot of people have asked me about houses on the lake. Now, you come up here to Lake Keowee with houses on the lake, they can go up as high as 6 and 7 million sometimes. And there's plenty that are there above 5 million. And the lowest price house I found, the lowest was around $1 million. Now the difference, Lake Murray, which has a bigger lake, and I actually appreciate that a lot more. But Lake Murray, the average house on the lake was $1 million. And the highest that I've seen is around 4 million. It had 7,000 square feet, ton of rooms, a lot of acreage, etc. too. You're looking at even luxury houses I've seen here in Greenville as high as 15 million. When you're looking at things like that, you can see just how much higher the cost of living is with Greenville. On this one, Columbia wins. I mean, if you want to spend that much money, yes, come to Greenville, live on the lake, get an incredible house if you've got that kind of money. But you can live on the lake in a nice 5,000 square foot house for as much as $1 million, $1.5 million. Go back to my Chapin video. I show a $1.5 million house in Timberlake, just over 4,000 square feet, I think. And had 5 bedrooms, 4 houses, and it was 1.5 million. And it had a beautiful composite dock on it. It had a pool, had a beautiful area. It's right there in Timberlake Country Club. You really couldn't beat it. But that same house here in Greenville might be as much as $3 or $4 million. Cost of living, definitely check mark goes to Columbia. Let's head on to the next one. We are now out here on the Horseshoe at the University of South Carolina. What better place to talk about schools? We're in the top school, biggest school in the entire state when it comes to college. But actually what we're going to be talking about is high school, middle school, elementary school. This is what a lot of people, when they're moving here, they don't necessarily, Columbia and Greenville both have great schools, but you don't necessarily move here for the schools. But when you do move here, if you look at the top school districts in the state, you're talking about Lexington District 2 Lexington Richland District 5 is the number 2 district in the entire state. Now Lexington District 1, which covers most of Lexington, is the number 4 school district in the state. Then you have Anderson schools coming in, which is 30 minutes from Spartanburg, probably a little further from Greenville, but it's one of the top. It is the number 6 school districts in the state. Okay, I know exactly where he's going. Columbia is going to win the school. Yeah, if you were talking about districts, but obviously there are many schools, elementary, middle, and high schools in each district. So just because a district is one of the best does not mean that Columbia's got some of the top districts in the state. Well, we must go to Columbia if we're going to schools. No, the individual schools, Greenville has some incredible schools too. Now, what do you want to learn from this? What I would tell you in learning from this is whatever schools you're going to, check the individual schools. Just like crime, you're checking the individual suburbs, growth rate, and how many people are moving there, traffic, things like that. you're checking the individual. When you break it down and go in, I haven't got time to give you every single figure, but Greenville has great schools too, not just school districts. When it comes to Columbia versus Greenville, we are giving a check to both of them when it comes to schools. You just have to check your area better than the other ones. Or once again, get on a Zoom call to me, with me. I can share my screen. We can do it together. Go to my Calendly link that is in the banner and it's in the description below, along with my phone number, email, and I will go over each of the individual schools with you as well and tell you what's good, what some of the best areas are, and we can come up with a structured plan just for you. That would be the section on schools. In this section of the video, we're actually going to be talking about, in comparing Columbia to Greenville, we're going to be talking about sports and venues. So recreation venues, things like that. There's no better place to talk about this than, again, right here at Williams-Brice Stadium, because this is a college town when you're talking about Carolina. Columbia first, and everything that it has here. When it comes to venues, we're going to save the whole Carolina Clemson thing for the end. You've got the Colonial Center, which is the largest venue, indoor venue in Columbia, or in South Carolina. It seats around 18,000, whereas what used to be the Bio Center in Greenville seats around 15,000. It's the Bond something. It used to be the Bio Center. Honest to goodness, I can't even remember the name of it now, but it's a great venue in Greenville. You can see them right here at Williams-Brice. George Rogers, who won the Heisman Trophy back in 1980 and was in the top 10 2 years. I have met George. He actually used to live in Irmo. I know him well since I used to cheer up here, and I've met him, hung out with him a little bit. Even met him and seen him in Kroger a number of times in Irmo. Absolutely incredible guy. You can see just how beautiful it is out here. Now, when there's more people out here, it's even more so. You have Colonial Center, Township. You have the Kroger Center, different places where we've had comedians, small groups in the Township. Kroger Center, there's a lot of ballets, a lot of classic arts. It's right across from the Darla Moore building, which is huge in international business here in at USC, and a lot of the courses that they teach, and they specialize that and are nationally known. But we also have, coming through downtown, you have the Saluda River, which I've talked about in my Columbia videos. You've got the Saluda River pushing that meets the Broad River and forms the Congaree, to where you can even take trips from here all the way down where the Wateree meets up with it too, go into Channel Locks, go all the way to Charleston. A lot of people have camped out there. A lot of people have camped on the way and then go to some deep sea fishing as soon as they get down to Charleston. There are trips, there are people that can plan that for you. We also have Lake Murray out here. Now Greenville, you've got just as much. Later in the video, we're actually going to be going to Table Rock, and I'm going to show you why a lot of people go to the upstate. The upstate is beautiful, and it's near the mountains. Venues that are up there are just gorgeous. Greenville has a lot of money in Greenville, which we'll go over too when it comes to cost of living, to everything. But they also have 3 lakes up there. Lake Jocassee, which Jocassee, a lot of people do scuba diving when they go out there. Lake Hartwell, which is a little closer up to Clemson, and many of the lakes, there's 3 big ones that are up there in Greenville. Now, when it comes to sports teams and stuff, we do have minor league baseball here. Claim to fame is when Tim Tebow played for the minor league team here. They also have it in Greenville at Fluor Field. They have some hockey teams in Greenville, which we used to have here, but we don't have here anymore. There's some soccer leagues up there. There's football leagues. There's baseball league here that are in Lexington, and ones that are in Greenville as well. There's no real pro teams here. You've got to go to Charlotte or go to Atlanta, which we'll talk about location later. Greenville is closer to Atlanta, a lot closer than we are, but we're a little closer to Charlotte. You're looking at things like that, but when it comes down to it, It's football. Everybody talks about football. You've got Furman as well as Paris Mountain State Park, that Paris Mountain Park that is up right there in Greenville and a part of it. Furman's campus is gorgeous. They have a football team. Paris Mountain there's some great mountain biking. There's hills. There's just so much to do out there as well. Columbia here, we have 2 football teams downtown that are Allen and Benedict. So a lot of people will come in for that. They're smaller colleges, smaller football teams, but both colleges are here. Let's get to what everybody is talking about. Clemson puts a lot of money into downtown Greenville, and downtown Greenville has more money when it comes to Greenville versus Columbia. They just do. Cost of living, you'll find out later that we talk about as well, and there's benefits to that and there's drawbacks to that. But one thing Columbia has is it is a college town. The university is all over. I mean, it is about a quarter of the city, if not half the city. It is all about Carolina. Clemson, even though it contributes to Greenville, and Greenville claims Clemson as its university, it is still 33 miles, about a 45-minute drive to Clemson from Greenville. And Clemson is its own town. It is a college town itself. It is a town all by itself. So even though Greenville claims Clemson is their university, it's not straight up downtown. When it comes to sports venues, it's the capital city here. We have bigger venues. Now, I will tell you, Clemson's football stadium is bigger than ours. But also, we have expansion coming this year and next year, 25 and 26. They're expanding the stadium. They're working on it. They're also expanding out the grounds and doing more than just what's around here already. I've got to give the edge with all of that. Plus, I'm a Gamecock fan. I was one of the ones flipping around on the field out there, and I followed it all my life. The football, the baseball, the basketball, even though last year was not the best. And Greenville's got a lot going on, and you're going to find this is a very balanced race here between Columbia and Greenville. But the sports and venues and the recreation, what you can do, the amount of things you can do, the Congaree National Forest, the different things, and it is the capital of South Carolina. I got to give the sports and venues, the check goes to Columbia. On to the next one. Since I'm doing this Columbia versus Greenville, which we'll get into the sports stuff later, but Carolina versus Clemson. Greenville is known, it's only 30 miles away to Clemson. And I know both of these well. I went to Carolina, I actually cheered up at Carolina. I was one of the ones flipping around. My oldest son graduated Carolina, my youngest son graduated Clemson. So I've got both sides of this and what I'm doing. But one of the most common questions that I get, I am in Greenville today, or just above Greenville at Table Rock, so I wore my orange. It is very humid, but it's very windy up here, and that's a whole nother section that we're gonna do today is weather. But this one is for crime. I have more people ask me about crime because Greenville and Columbia actually rank some of the lowest cities in the nation in crime. Columbia is 3%. It's better than 3% of the neighborhoods in the United States when it comes to crime. That's not real great. It's only 4% above all the other neighborhoods on the average in the US. Columbia, for violent crimes, 1 in every 142 danger of it. 1 in Greenville, 1 in every 141. So they're very similar. Now, when it comes to property crimes, having something stolen or whatnot off of your property, it gets down to, I think Columbia is 1 out of every 24 people, and Greenville is 1 out of every 27 people, I believe. I'm saying this all from memory, just because I know the area, and I did research it a little bit too, because so many people ask me about this. But those are downtown statistics. Yes, you will have, it's not great downtown, but you're talking about crimes that happen at night, not during the day. You're talking about muggings, different things. But when you're moving to Columbia or even to Greenville, which are both about the same when it comes to crime rates, one, you want to do your research. You're most likely moving into suburbs. You're not moving into the downtown city. Matter of fact, I say this in a lot of my suburbs, pros, cons, vlog, map videos, etc. I just haven't touched in crime. And I've had a lot of people ask me about this, which is why I wanted to say this. What you need to do when you decide what suburb you want to move into, then call the neighborhood. For Columbia, I'm obviously a little more familiar with. Chapin has its own police department. Forest Acres has its own police department. Irmo has its own police department. Lexington has its own police department. All these different suburbs have their own police departments. Call them and ask them. If you're in town visiting, looking at houses, and see somebody, call them and ask. We are known for southern hospitality. People will talk to you. Many times when I'm showing people homes, they ask what the neighborhood's like. And I'm like, come back here around in the summer, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, walk the neighborhoods, door knock. I used to door knock a lot when it came to neighborhoods, but door knock, see what's happening in the neighborhood, ask the neighbors when you find something that you like. Yes, those are not great statistics with Greenville, with Columbia. I'm gonna give them a tie in this because you're really not going to win when it comes. They're very close as far as being the same. My feel is somebody like me that's been here 50 out of 51 years of his entire life. And the other 1 year, I lived in Easley, which is a suburb of Greenville. And I ran all the time, jogging, running, all over the place. And I've never felt safer in either city. Never had any run-ins, never had any problems with the police. It's one of the safest places in the world to me. Talking about crime, again, both of them are about the same, but neither one of them really win when it comes to it and their downtown places, no matter how nice downtown is. Okay, part of the allure of Greenville and some of the things that you can do is that it's close to the upstate. You're closer to many of the mountains and the foothills of South Carolina. There's some beautiful lakes up here that are so clear. This is where I'm at right now. Is Table Rock State Park. You can see this way behind me, and I'm at one of the main gift shop. They've got camping. They've got where you can camp with motor homes, RV type homes. It's just beautiful out here. You can do tent camping, you can hold events. They've got all kinds of stuff. Let me show you here, because the next one where I'm about to show you, of course, there's Table Rock State Park, there's Oconee State Park, there's Devil Fort State Park, Lake Jocassee. There's 3 different lakes up here: Hartwell, Jocassee, Lake Kiwi. That is where I will take my next video from. That will be, I am going hiking all the way up there. See the difference, and this is part of the reservoir and stuff down here, but you'll be able to see it even more and just some of the beauty. And again, this is the lure part of it of being in Greenville with the location in the South Carolina upstate. All right, guys, this is the top of Table Rock. This is just one of many around the upstate in different areas. This is up near, this is Table Rock State Park, but you got Oconee State Park. You've got Devil's Fork State Park, which is on Lake Jocassee, which I'll talk about a little later too, because Lake Jocassee for scuba diving is where a lot of people go. It's cooler, and at the same time, it's so much clear where you can see. Whereas if you go in Lake Murray to go scuba diving, it's very murky, very muddy. Whereas Lake Jocassee, it's a lot. You've also got Lake Kiwi around here, Lake Hartwell. Matter of fact, New Spring Church up near Clemson is on Lake Hartwell. It actually borders and is on Lake Hartwell, which is how much more expensive that piece of property was. Caesar's Head, there's from here to North Carolina, there's all kinds of stuff. There's camping areas, RV parks. There's all sorts of stuff. I've been talking about coming to the top. Now the summit's actually a little bit further up, and you come down for about a quarter mile to get to this lookout point. But check this out. you're at the top of everything up here. And you can see it. That's the reservoir down below. It's not one of the lakes, it's actually a reservoir. And you can see, I don't know if you can see out of the video here, but it looks like almost a mountain biking trail. That would be so cool coming down that mountain right there. I forget the name of that over there, but there is a trail that goes over there as well. But it's just so pretty up here, and you can't beat it. All right, this is the summit right before you get to the lookout, and just wanted you to see just how high it is up here elevation wise, so that you're looking how much you're going up, even in just 3.5 miles. Okay, I said toward the end of the video I would give you a little bit of an excerpt as far as the market. People are freaking out with it right now because things are staying on the market longer. The entire time I've been in real estate, about 7 years, it's been a seller's market, which means that we have probably less than 3 months worth of inventory or buyers coming in to look. Now we're starting to get more inventory. I'm going to have to almost twice the number of houses out there, and there's a lot more months worth of inventory there. What does that mean? It means that whereas no longer is a house going with multiple offers on every single one, especially as you get into the upper pricing for 500 or higher. The average days on market here in South Carolina is probably around 95, whereas the average days on market here in Columbia is more like 60, 65 days. What I want to tell you is when you're putting your house for sale is if it's priced right and there's no drops in prices, houses are selling on average of about 10 to 15 days. That's it, if it's priced right. Now, if it's priced too high and there are prices where it keeps dropping, once you at 100% of the price, it's being done automatic contracts for 100% of it within 10 to 15 days usually. But every time the price drops is where it starts pushing back further. And of course, when you have houses that are 500 or higher, those obviously, because you're taking down the number of people that are looking for those houses, those stay on market a little bit longer as well. So you just have to be patient with that as long as it's priced right. But even those, if the right customers out there, would do it. So are we in a buyer's market yet here in the Midlands? Not yet, but we're getting there. It's more of a balanced market right there. That is good. The buyers have not had the upper hand in quite a while. Sellers, if it's priced right, will still get their house sold and can even get it done quickly if they listen to their agent and the comparables that they run. But most of the ones that I have listed are listed too high and do not drop down. Go ahead and conclude this video. It's been a great one. In conclusion, guys, this has been a absolutely fun video to make. Spent time an entire day in Greenville. I spent half a day here in Columbia doing a good bit of footage as well. What I want you to know about this is it was a competition, Greenville versus Columbia. We had 10 different metrics. 4 of them went to Columbia, 3 of them went to Greenville, and there were 3 of them that were tied. So Columbia wins. Obviously, I live in Columbia, and the big reason I'm here is from I grew up here, location, so much to do, sports and recreation. There is no winner or loser. You might like the upstate better. I showed you. Now, weather cannot be the reason you're saying you like it better, but just showing you with Columbia versus Greenville. But I also put some extra stuff in there with Table Rock at the end of the video that wasn't even a comparison as far as what we were doing. Either way, I want you to know I can help you out. Give me a call, text, email, set up a Zoom call with me on Calendly. All the information's in that description below. And listen, if you prefer Greenville, the beauty of downtown Greenville, in one of the suburbs, like I said, I lived in Easley for a year through Main Street on my way up to Table Rock of Travelers Rest. It's really pretty as well. You've got Furman up there, Harris Mountain State Park, all of that. But if I work for one of the second biggest
largest company and the fastest growing company in real estate with eXp Realty. I know people all through South Carolina I can help set you up with if you would prefer to be in Greenville, if you would prefer to be in Charleston, which I will gladly be doing a Charleston video, Charleston versus Columbia too soon. Anywhere you want to live, if it's not in Columbia, but it's somewhere else here in the state of South Carolina, or even nationwide, I'd be glad to help you, be glad to refer people out. Give me a call. So till the next time.